I just don't like it. I don't like the shopping experience. Like the style is just definitely not my style. I don't like the lighting. I just feel like I'm in a hospital in there. Hi everyone, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be doing a part 2 of my unpopular design opinions. So if you haven't seen, I'm gonna link at the end of this video to part 1, but that is where I gave you a few things that, you know, were unpopular, challenge the conventional wisdom around sort of interior design and what you sort of see online. These are just my opinions. If you don't like them, that's cool. That's why they're unpopular design opinions. If you agreed with everything that I said in this video, then maybe they would be popular design opinions. I don't know. So let's just not take this too seriously and get right into it. Okay, so my first unpopular design opinion, maybe this one's popular, we'll find out, is my dislike for Grandmillenial. Okay, so I am not saying that I don't like any traditional design. I think traditional design is great. I even like some fun sort of traditional elements sort of splashed into modern homes. I think sometimes that can be really, really fun. I know you all know that I'm more of a contemporary person myself. I'm not a big traditional fan. I do wonder if it's a thing. Like, is it actually a thing that people are doing in their homes? I'm seeing some of these pictures and there's just pattern on pattern on pattern on pattern, like it's leopard print with just some really feminine touches, and it's just like, it's all too much. There's just ruffles and there's slip covered everything and just pattern wallpaper and pattern pillows, and it just feels like a lot. I don't really like Grandmillenial, and I'm not convinced that it's a thing. I feel like magazines and blogs and YouTubers and whatever are just telling us it's a thing because there's, I don't know, 5 people in Brooklyn that actually have this home, and the rest of us are supposed to believe that this is taking over the world. I'm not convinced, I'm not gonna lie. I think that there is definitely a place for traditional, and it can be super fun, and again, I love sort of mixing in traditional elements into modern homes, but I do think that this Grandmillenial thing, or this trend, is a little overblown. I'm not sure it's actually really a thing, and to me, it's just all a little bit too much. I think it's just overwhelming to the senses. I just think it feels really cluttered. I feel overstimulated just looking at some of these photos. I don't know, let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree, but to me, this is just a little bit too much. I don't really care for it, and I just don't like it. I do think that a lot of people find Scandinavian design and mid-century modern, which I personally do love, and I think they're timeless in many ways. A lot of people are looking for something a little bit different, and I think we're seeing that a lot in design, where people are going back to some traditional elements. They're maybe experimenting more with postmodern. We're experimenting more with like unique shapes. We'll get to that later in the video. But I do think that some of these, you know, overstimulating, absolutely insane looking spaces that have so much color and so much pattern and just so much going on, I'm not sure that's the direction that we're necessarily headed. I just don't think they're the best interpretation of something that is different than your mid-century modern pieces that we are so used to. Okay, next on my list, and I'm gonna hear about this one. I don't really personally care for the Mario Bellini sofa. I have had so many people DM me to say, do you like this sofa? What do you think? I've had people say, are you gonna put this in your new home? I've had some people message me about that. The answer is no, because I don't personally really like this sofa. I know, a lot of you love it, and I get it. I love a lot of the work that, I think Italia is the company that manufactures the sofa. I love a lot of the work that they do. I personally really love the Tufty sofa and the Tufty 2. I think they're a little bit more my style, but the Mario Bellini to me is just, it's unique, I'll give it that. I think it's kind of reminds me of inflatable sofa. It just doesn't really feel like it's personally my own style. That's not to say that it's not great for a lot of other people. That's not to say it wouldn't work in your home. If this is your style and it works for you, great. I think it works beautiful in some of these photos that I've seen, but I do think this is a sofa that you build a space around. It's not really a sofa that just sort of seamlessly fits into your average living room. I think it's a whole look that you're kind of building around this one piece of furniture, and that's not something that I typically like to see. So personally, I'm just not a big fan of that sofa. Sorry. Okay, third unpopular design opinion is you can paint small spaces in dark colors. This is something that I feel like is starting to be challenged more and more, because the conventional wisdom has always been that if you want to make your space look really big and really bright, and you want to really kind of make a small space or a dark hallway or something, you want to make it really, you know, come alive and have a lot of light, then you're going to paint it into light colors. That does make sense because white paints typically have a much higher LRV, which is light reflectance value, which is how much light is reflected off the paint. So I understand the logic, but I still don't agree with it. I think in the end, if you want to do a really dark, cool powder room, if you want to, you know, if you have a smaller bedroom or even an interior hallway or something, and you really want to paint it a dark color, you really want to kind of have that really gorgeous, moody space, I think go for it. I'm just gonna say I've done it. My hallway is actually back there. You can kind of see the house tour is coming, by the way, so you can stop asking. But anyway, that is painted in Hail Navy, which has a very low LRV. And most people will tell you, do not paint an interior hallway that doesn't get a lot of natural light in a dark color. I disagree. I think you can make it into something that's really neat, sort of this beautiful little kind of jewel box inside your home that just feels kind of really sophisticated and really beautiful. If you're really looking for a sophisticated look, I think going for like dark greens, going for black or like a dark gray, navy, dark green, like an emerald, these are all really gorgeous colors, and I don't think you should be afraid of them. I think so often people go for white paint or they go for the off-whites because they're so popular and because they want that bright, crisp, light space. So a lot of people are really afraid of dark paints because they just think they're gonna look like a dark, dank sort of cave that's not very inviting, that's not very welcoming or whatever, but that's not necessarily true. I think you can do a lot with dark paints, even in a small space. I have a video actually on small spaces, you can check it out, and I gave you this tip there because it's an unpopular opinion. It's not what a lot of people will tell you, but I just think if you've got an interior hallway or you've got a powder room, or if you've got something that doesn't get a lot of light, don't assume that you have to paint. You can paint it a light color, go for it. If that's the look that you're going for, why not? But if you are looking for something dark and you're like, oh, my heart's set on dark paint, but I just shouldn't do it because I'm afraid, don't be afraid, go for it. My next unpopular design opinion is that you can put matte paint on walls. Okay, so in the painting world, there's usually this idea that matte paint or really flat paint is what you'd put on your ceiling, and that is true. And that's because generally how it works is that the more flat your paint, the more matte it is, the better it is gonna hide any imperfections, but the less durable it is going to be. And then if you want to move more towards something in like a semi-gloss or a satin finish or something, that's usually what you put on trim or maybe walls or whatever. Please see my trim paint video if you wanna check that out. But that's kind of the conventional wisdom. And I, for so long, have also believed this to be true, that, you know, if you want walls and definitely your trim to be a little bit more durable, then you go for something with a little bit more sheen because that is going to be more durable over the long term. So I feel that if you are single or you're a couple, you don't have kids, and you're looking for that really sort of designer look, you're looking for something that looks really beautiful and matte, you can put matte paint on your walls. Just be very careful. Know what you're getting into. You're getting a finish that is not going to be as durable as what you're going to get if you were to go with something like a satin or an eggshell, but that's okay. You know that going in, and you're not necessarily just sticking with the general rule that everybody goes with, which is that you go with something like an eggshell on your walls. You can go with matte, just be careful what you're getting into. If your lifestyle permits it, it can be beautiful, it can look stunning. Honestly, for my lifestyle, I wish I'd gone with matte paint in my home, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna go with in my new home, because based on our lifestyle and who we are with just being, you know, two single people and not having any kids, that sort of makes sense for us. So don't be afraid, especially if your lifestyle allows for matte paint. It could be gorgeous on walls. And then my last interior design, unpopular opinion, whatever, is going to be, and this one's just for fun, is I don't like Homegoods or HomeSense, depending on where you live. It's Homegoods in the States, it's HomeSense here in Canada. I think it's HomeSense in the UK as well. I don't like it. I know people are like, do a shop with me. You know, we want to come with you to HomeSense and you can sort of uncover some amazing finds. No, I don't like it. You're probably not going to find a buy this, not that for me on HomeSense or HomeGoods. I just don't like it. I don't like the shopping experience. Like, the style is just definitely not my style. I don't like the lighting. I just feel like I'm in a hospital in there. I just really don't like the shopping experience. I don't find the deals to be all that great, to be honest. Maybe if you're going to pick up a basket, like I think I went not long ago and I kind of had a look around and I was like, oh, I guess the baskets are fine. But all the furniture is usually banged up because it's usually floor models, and I just don't really like any of the furniture that's there. Usually leans more towards kind of modern farmhouse kitschy sign thing, and that's just generally, as you all very well know, has been well documented on this channel, I do not care for myself. I think there are other places that offer more value than what you're gonna get from HomeGoods or HomeSense. This is just not a retailer that I personally am really in love with, and I know a lot of YouTubers and a lot of designers talk about how they get all these deals at HomeGoods and HomeSense. I don't know where they're looking. They're going to different stores than I do, because all I go in there and I just see tacky stuff that I don't really care for. So that's just kind of a fun one at the end. Unpopular design opinion. I don't like HomeGoods. There goes that as a sponsor, but they probably wouldn't sponsor me anyway, but you can kiss that goodbye. Go to vintage shops, go to Etsy, go to Amazon Handmade, like go to places where you can actually get real stuff that's good and not, I wouldn't say overpriced, but like cheap crap from HomeGoods. I know I have bought stuff from there in the past, but I don't have it anymore. It's all in my items I regret buying list. Okay, so that's it for me for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to link right here to my part 1 of Unpopular Design Opinions. I got a few doozies in there as well, so if you like this video, you'll probably like that one too, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks, bye.